Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my WWE Wrestlemania 42 predictions video. Now, I specifically waited until after Friday Night SmackDown ahead of WrestleMania. As you can see, I'm not in the usual place where I film, and I'm not quite sure the lighting and or sound is going to pick up this video, but I had to get it out for you guys so that we could go ahead and give you guys my predictions like I've done with every PLE now since last year's Royal Rumble. So without further ado, let's go ahead and go over the 13 matches currently between both nights of WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to add any more, which is kind of depressing considering the fact when you realize like WrestleMania 35, I think had like 17 matches or something, and it was one night. You're telling me we can't get Becky Lynch, or not Becky Lynch, Asuka versus Io Sky, or Julia versus Tiffany Stratton on the card. Anyhow, guys, let's go to enough ranting though. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Alright guys, so I'm not going to be going in any specific order, at least until the end. So let's go and get started with one of the matches I'm the most excited for, the Intercontinental Championship 6-way ladder match between Rusev, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rey Mysterio, Javon Evans, and the current Intercontinental Champion, Penta. Now, they did not add El Grande Americano to this. They did not add Elio Del Vikingo to this. So this, for right now, is just a 6-pack ladder match. And, I mean, you know, we got some great high flyers. This might be match of the night, personally. I'm really excited for this match. However, for who can win, I feel like we're really just down to two possibilities here, and that is either Javon Evans or Penta. The rest of the guys, I don't see JD McDonough winning this. I don't see Dragon Lee winning this. Personally, Rusev just is in there to catch people, I have a feeling, and Rey just doesn't need this. But just for the fact that Penta's reign literally just started, I am going to go ahead and predict Penta here. I feel like they could do the youngest ever Intercontinental Champion, have Javon win it, but personally, I think Penta's going to go ahead and walk out here. I think his reign is too new to kind of toss out to the side, especially for how long he had to wait. So for this matchup, I'm going to knock everybody else down, and I'm going to say that Penta will keep the Intercontinental Championship. Most likely, I don't even know who he's going to lose it to. I really think WWE needs to do a draft again, but for the mid-card now, maybe like a returning Bronson Reed or something. I really don't know, but for right now, I'm going to say Penta keeps the Intercontinental Championship. Heck, he could even lose it to Javon Evans really soon afterwards, but right now I think Penta is going to retain in the ladder match. We will just go straight from the men's to the women's Intercontinental Championship. Is coming up next. We have AJ Lee, the current women's Intercontinental Champion, defending against the current and former and two-time champion Becky Lynch. Now this one, I feel like it really just depends how you look at it here. AJ Lee has definitely been a part-time champion, 100%. I think she's had maybe 3 live appearances between whenever she won the championship and now. And Becky Lynch just really should be the champion again. So simply for that, I am going to go ahead and predict that Becky Lynch does retain. I don't know what AJ Lee does, or I guess win the championship again. I don't know what AJ Lee does after this. Not really quite sure if there's anything for her to do after this besides maybe just quick one-off matches at like SummerSlam and the Saudi shows and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the championship back on Becky. If she doesn't win it, I won't be mad. I've enjoyed this AJ Lee little run for what it is. The match against Bayley was fun, but I feel like the right decision is to put it back on Becky and just continue. Becky doesn't need to hold it long. She could drop it back to Maxine. I don't really think Natty needs it, but I'm sure they can find something with it. I'm going to be honest that, guys, it is very late at night, so I'm not going to go ahead and predict like I usually do, because I have to go ahead and get to watch the Hall of Fame here. Got to watch my boy AJ get inducted, but I am just going to go ahead and give you the base predictions. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and predict Becky Lynch to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship for a record 3rd time. The next match is Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu in an unsanctioned match. Now, personally, this has been my favorite build. A lot of people say their favorite build has been Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. For me, I feel like it's just a bit too simple. I like this build. I even liked the promo we saw from Jacob just a few hours ago of him on top of the police car. That was cool. I liked that. But as for who's going to win this matchup, I'm going to go and say Jacob. I don't think Drew needs to win this. I think Jacob can move on, maybe go after Randy. Well, I guess I just spoiled who I kind of think was going to win for the main event. Pretend I didn't say that. However, Jacob Fatu, I just think, he needs to win more. He just lost, 2 matches to Logan Paul and Trick Williams over the past couple of weeks. I mean, obviously, nobody needs to win more than Drew. My man Drew cannot get a singles win on a PLE except against Sami Zayn. But, I mean, at this point, no offense to Sami, but who doesn't have a singles win over Sami Zayn at a PLE? But yeah, I'm going to go to big Jacob Fad 2 wins here, beats Drew McIntyre, ends the feud. I don't think we're going to get another Damian Priest Drew McIntyre feud last year where it goes past WrestleMania. I think Jacob wins this. That's it. We're done. We're moving on. Who attacked Jacob maybe could come back into play, but to be honest, if I know WWE, they are not going to continue with that. But nonetheless, I am going to go to predict that Jacob Fatu beats Drew McIntyre to end the feud. The next match is a 6-man tag between the Usos and LA Knight going against Austin Theory and Logan Paul of the Vision, as well as, obviously not pictured here because there's no way he'd have a figure, I Show Speed. Now, I haven't really heard too many people talk about this match, like prediction-wise or kind of excitement-wise. It's pretty much just, oh yeah, we have these guys on the card. Let's get another celebrity on the card. I'm guessing, like if I had to place a bet, I probably would, that this was supposed to be Bronson Reed's spot before he got injured. Like, I don't see a world where I Show Speed would have joined the likes of Bronson Reed. Like, I get, he's tight with Logan and whatever, but I really think this was supposed to be Bronson Reed's spot here. But as for who's actually going to win, I don't know if this is a surprise or not, because like I said, I haven't seen many people talk about it recently, but I am going to go and predict that I Show Speed, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory pick up a victory, simply for what I'm going to mention later. I think we need to get, like, a breakup between LA Knight and Jey Uso. I feel like they're getting too close. I feel like, whenever the bloodline was running around originally, the Usos, they didn't trust anybody. And I think that's exactly what we're going to get here with LA Knight. I think eventually the LA Knight, the Yeah versus Yeet, is going to be too big of egos, and they're going to go ahead and screw up here. And if this was supposed to be Bronson Reed in the spot, then I definitely feel like they were supposed to win. So I'm going to go ahead and predict that the Vision and I Show Speed beat LA Knight and the Usos, which is a sentence I never thought I'd say. Then we get to this match, Seth Rollins versus Gunther, and man, this could have been one of the greatest WrestleMania builds of all time, except for the fact that this was supposed to be two separate matches. We were supposed to be getting Gunther versus Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker, but legitimately everyone under the sun except Gunther had to get injured between SummerSlam and now, and I'm pretty sure Gunther also got injured before he came back and started being the career killer. Obviously, Seth Rollins' career is not on the line for this matchup, which, I mean, I guess good enough for Gunther. He doesn't need to be retiring somebody at literally every single show, and to be honest, I still hate Gunther for retiring AJ. Anyhow, though, moving on to who I think is going to win this matchup, I think it is unfortunately going to be Gunther. I mean, the dude just does not lose one-on-one matches, but it's not going to be clean. Seth Rollins is going to lose, but it is going to be because of the returning Braun Breaker. I think he is ready to go. I mean, didn't he get hurt flipping the announcer's table or something? So I really do feel like he's ready to go. He's been ready to go most likely for a while now, and they've just been trying to stall him along so that way they don't have to rush this feud. This could be a SummerSlam feud. It started last summer. It could end this summer. But yeah, I'm going to go and predict that Gunther does knock off Seth Rollins here. Obviously not clean, though, like I said, with the help of Braun Breaker. Following that, the next match is the Women's WWE Tag Team Championship Fatal 4-Way between the Irresistible Forces, Charlexa, the Bella Twins, and Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Now, quick side note, I've seen all day over Instagram, which obviously can't be true 100% of the time, but that I've heard that Nikki's just out, apparently. I still have her figure featured here, but apparently she's just out and supposedly is going to be replaced by the returning Saraya, aka Paige, but I really don't see that happening. And since that's still not been confirmed, I am just going to go ahead and continue with the Bella Twins as a unit going into this matchup before I go ahead and get into the predictions. I just had to clear that up. So without further ado, let's get into the predictions for this matchup. And I mean, there is a lot of different ways this can go, to be honest. I could see any of these teams with the exception of Charlotte and Alexa walking out with the gold, really. I mean, the Bella Twins, they came back at the Rumble. They never were tag team champions. But then you got the Irresistible Forces, who just kind of won the titles, even though they've had 5 different title defenses, which have all ended in disqualification. And then you got Bayley and Lyra, and I'm a big Bayley and Lyra fan. I've loved them as a tag team since they had an opportunity at last year's WrestleMania, and I don't remember if I predicted that they were going to win the tag team championships or not at WrestleMania last year. However, this year I'm going to. We're just going to knock all of them over that way. And I'm predicting I only have one tag team championship, so they're going to have to share here. I'm predicting, though, that Bayley and Lyra are your new women's tag team champions. You know, they mainly got their ass whooped throughout pretty much this whole entire storyline. You know, they lost to, I believe, the Bellas. I don't really exactly remember how that match went, but they've just been losing a lot recently. I feel like it's their time. They keep mentioning the fact that Bayley got, like, scuffed out of last year's WrestleMania, so I do think that this time is the time to have Bayley and Lyra finally win the tag team championships. You know, if they really want to have the Bella Twins, they can have the heel Bella Twins take the titles off of Bayley and Lyra, but for right now, I'm going to say Bayley and Lyra are your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Coming up next, it is for the United States Championship. It is the most hated man on earth, Sami Zayn, versus Trick Williams for the United States Championship. Now, you guys know, if you guys are long-time viewers of the channel, or just even most recent viewers, you guys know that I am a huge Sami Zayn fan. Like, he is top 3 for me of all time. Like, not of all time, but of my favorites of all time. And I really didn't think I could hate him, and I still don't hate him, but I'm kind of confused exactly what they're going for here, because Sami Zayn's trying to say that, you know, he has this fan base, and they still love him no matter what, even though no one has really, in the arenas especially, shown that. And I mean, Trick Williams just continues to get more and more and more and more over, and I was like, oh, Sami Zayn's going to capitalize again. Mello might accidentally get involved. I think Mello might be hurt now. He wasn't in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, which I figured they would have at least shoved him in, considering they shoved Dragunov in there. Which, by the way, justice for Dragunov. Dude, he got eliminated, like, so quickly in that match. But anyhow, getting off topic a little bit here, I was sitting there thinking there was no way Sami was going to lose in his first title defense, but since they did the Mello match, I think that kind of clears things up. I think when we're moving forward with a somewhat heelish Sami Zayn who thinks he's doing the right thing, similar to, like, NXT Bo Dallas in a way. However, unfortunately, I do have to take the championship off my boy Sami. Maybe he retains, you know, the gingerbread man works in mysterious ways, but right now, I'm going to say Trick Williams, dude, like, the pyro at WrestleMania is going to hit so hard. He is going to look and feel like $1,000,000, and he is going to probably have, I'd say, a solid 6-month reign. Like, I say he loses it at SummerSlam at the earliest. And, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that we have a new United States champion in the form of Trick Williams. Next up is another women's matchup, and it is for the WWE Women's World Championship between the current champion, Stephanie Vaquer, which I do not have a figure for, going up against the Royal Rumble winner, Liv Morgan. Now, this feud has been a really good one, especially when you realize the fact that they've maybe gotten 10 minutes in total before this last feud, or before this last brawl. Obviously, Liv and Roxanne just taking nasty bump, going, you know, head-to-head combat there. However, for this matchup, I really don't really know exactly what to expect, because I could see them giving the championship right back to Liv, just because it's been a little bit since Liv's been champion. Like, if you can believe it or not, it's been since, like, last January. But I am going to go ahead and predict that Stephanie Vaquer is going to retain. You know, I think her championship reign has been solid so far. I mean, she won it back, like, WrestlePalooza? So clearly she still has some time left in her championship run. I'm going to go ahead and predict, like I said, Stephanie Vaquer retains here. There's a lot of beef between Roxanne and Liv that wasn't quite cleared up yet. You know, we'll get into the Dom and Finn stuff later, but I feel like the Judgment Day is slowly going to start to split off into more of like a training grounds thing where you just kind of show up when you need to and then you leave the Judgment Day, similar to Finn Balor when you are finally ready to. I guess a better example would be like Damian Priest. And I'm going to go ahead and predict that Stephanie Vaquer does retain the Women's Championship here, and we'll probably move on to hopefully finally get a decent feud out of some of the women on Raw. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and predict that Stephanie Vaquer is still going to be your Women's World Champion. And speaking of the Judgment Day, I do not have a Demon Finn Balor figure. However, I do have the regular Finn Balor figure, and it is going to be Finn Balor versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And is it just me, or you guys can comment down below, did WWE just forget this feud existed? Like, they had the great babyface turn of Balor, and then all they did was backstage segments and one quick attack of Balor. on the outside. Like, they didn't even give J.D. McDonough or Balor an entrance for their supposed match. They didn't even announce it. Like, I just came back and I saw J.D. McDonough was in the ring. Like, I feel like they forgot about this feud. Like, they did not barely mention it this past Raw, and TKO pretty much ruined it by announcing the Demon. Because now there's no way that Dom's going to win. And if Dom wins, that'll be a bigger mistake than having Edge beat the Demon. Like, Dom does not need to beat the Demon. Finn Balor does not need to lose in general, let alone if it's the Demon. So I am just going to, get Dom out of the way. Dom is actually starting to get on my nerves so much. He doesn't show up. He's injured half the time, and all he does is hold belts hostage. But yeah, I'm going to go to predict that Finn Balor does win this matchup, and to be honest, I'm sure this feud's going to go a lot longer. I don't know why they brought out the Demon so quickly, but at least for right now, I mean, as long as the Demon's out, Finn Balor is going to win. Like, he should win. But yeah, I'm going to go and predict that Finn Balor beats Dirty Dom. Up next, it is perhaps the most anticipated match on the WrestleMania card, Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi. I mean, this was just a no-brainer from the start. I'm glad WWE went from point A to point B, and they actually just did this match, and we didn't have to continue the open challenge. We didn't get LA Knight versus Brock Lesnar. Oba Femi did not get scuffed from the WrestleMania card. They did exactly what they needed to do perfectly, and they've built this perfectly. Oba Femi looks like a beast. No pun intended there. Brock Lesnar, I mean, we haven't seen him do like this much elevating since, I want to say, Drew McIntyre. So, I mean, this has just been a great feud overall. Triple H has been getting involved. That's how you know it's good, because he wants to kind of piggyback off of it. However, though, this matchup, at least the way I see it, it's a no-brainer. This is going to be a less than 5-minute brawl, and it is going to start. I'm going to go and kind of predict this match a little bit, because this video is going to be a little bit shorter than I wanted it to. So I'm going to go and predict the match a little bit here. We're going to get roughly a 5 to 7 minute brawl before the match actually begins, and that's going to be the only time Lesnar gets offense. The second the match starts, I want to see a fall from grace or a fall from glory or whatever Oba Femi's finisher is called, and I want to see Brock Lesnar on the ground in less than 30 seconds to crown a new ruler over the WWE, and I think that's really the only option they could do, is have Oba Femi squash Brock Lesnar. Doesn't have to be a squash, but I feel like the longer it goes, the less either man will benefit from it. So I'm going to go and predict that in less than 7-ish minutes, Oba Femi is going to beat Brock Lesnar and most likely move on to win King of the Ring. Or at least that's my prediction. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and predict once again that Oba Femi beats the Beast. Next is for the WWE Championship. It is Cody Rhodes defending against Randy Orton. Now, I do have my Pat McAfee figure literally right here. I could put him in shot, but I am not going to ruin this perfect video by putting Pat McAfee anywhere near this shot. However, unfortunately, I feel like Pat McAfee has almost spoiled the ending here, because there was no reason that WWE, no matter how bad Ariel Helwani or whatever his name is, wants to shove Pat McAfee in there. There is no way that they would bring Pat McAfee in for 4 weeks just to have him leave. And the stipulation is if Cody Rhodes wins, Pat McAfee's gone. So unfortunately, what that most likely is going to show here is that Cody Rhodes is not walking out with the title, which, to be honest, I'm fine with. That he literally just cut like the most boring promo I think I have ever seen. However, the Punk part was good, but the part before that, it wasn't the best. You didn't even mention Pat McAfee, which, I don't blame him for. However, I am going to go to that Randy Orton does beat Cody Rhodes here. And I'm guessing they're going to run the exact same thing they did with John Cena last year, where Cody is probably going to become a 4-time WWE champion and most likely beat Randy Orton at SummerSlam. I hope he doesn't win King of the Ring again. Like, we cannot do this rinse, wash, repeat cycle over and over and over again. However, for this exact match, I do think Randy Orton's going to win here, and I really don't know where it's going to go from there. Like, WWE has kind of gotten confusing lately around its world title scene. Like, it's crazy to think this is the same world title scene that just 2 months ago we weren't locked up. We were doing Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn at the Rumble. Like, that felt fresh. That felt natural. This just kind of feels way forced, especially with the Go Home Pat thing that it seems like they're trying to build, and with the Punk Cody thing that they just did on SmackDown. See, I'm going to go and predict that Randy Orton, however, does win the 15th world title. You need to create that somewhat of a tie between him and Triple H. You can't have them both tied at 14. Get Randy Orton up there to 15. He doesn't need to tie Ric Flair. If he does, that's cool, but if not, he can have his own place at the pedestal at number 15. The next match, I kind of stuck in the middle here just so we weren't talking about both world title matches back to back. This is the second to last matchup that I'm going to be giving my predictions for. This is the 12th matchup, and it is Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, this match has probably had the worst women's build, I think, for the whole entire show, especially considering, unlike AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch, both of these women have been there the whole time, sometimes multiple times a week on Raw and SmackDown. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and give my predictions for this match. And this, to be honest, I hate to say it, but this match, I don't care who wins. If Rhea wins, thank goodness, because Jade Cargill's title reign has been terrible. And I don't really know. Because here's the thing. If Rhea does win here, then Jade's just kind of down and out of it here, and that is exactly what I'm going to go in and predict here. Jade has had a very boring championship reign. She's got most of the offense. Now, I am one of those pure believers in the fact that if you stand tall after WrestleMania or before WrestleMania, that you're most likely not going to win. They were pretty good with avoiding this at all costs. Like, a lot of people really didn't stand tall to it. There wasn't much fighting. There wasn't much brawling. However, I am going to go in and predict that Rhea is going to win the championship here. I just kind of had this random thought in the back of my head that, especially if Jade Cargill's faction, that there is no way that she's going to, like, this was built to lose to Rhea. Like, she had one championship defense. Like, I feel like she was built to lose to Rhea. I don't know why people are thinking Io is going to screw her over. Io has her own thing to do with the Kabuki Warriors, and I'm just going to go ahead and predict that we have a new WWE Women's Champion in the form of Rhea Bloody Ripley. Which now leads into the main event, the Night 2 main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk defends against Roman Reigns. And man, did this feud start out so hot. Like, actually, I'm going to bury you next to your father line. Dude, like, my own father looked up at the TV when he heard that, and he does not care about wrestling at all. However, though, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns kind of died down a little bit, but let's face it, this is a match that people have wanted for 10 years. Like, this really is a dream match. We kind of got it last year, but we had Seth in it, which obviously was a great match. So let's just go and get straight into it here. There is so much stuff going on. You got the possible reuniting of the Bloodline. You got the Rock possibly. You got the TKO merger. There's just so many different ways you can go here. And unfortunately, for Pepsi Phil here, I don't see him being a champion for any of it. Like, I could see Punk winning and then them screwing him over somehow. There's just so many different ways we can go, but I feel like Roman Reigns needs to be the champion. I feel like if they really want to double down on this TKO storyline, now I might be looking way too far into this, and WWE might actually be giving up on it, and because they realize it's just all to sell tickets, maybe. You never know. However, I am going to say that Roman Reigns is going to walk out your World Heavyweight Champion. Like, I mean, I don't see how he loses, especially with the whole Bloodline possibly happening here. I mean, they're clearly teasing something. They had the MFTs show up on Raw, and I feel like Roman Reigns is going to get this, and we are going to have a new World Heavyweight Champion, and this is how we're going to move forward the whole TKO thing. If you have both Randy Orton and Roman Reigns as your world champions, both kind of under that TKO banner, maybe Roman Reigns isn't. Maybe Roman will show up a little bit more, just kind of a short, like maybe 3 to 4 month reign of the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's be honest, it's Roman Reigns. He's most likely going to hold this to either SummerSlam or next year's WrestleMania, but I am going to go and predict that Roman Reigns will be your new World Heavyweight Champion at the end of WrestleMania, because we acknowledge the Tribal Chief. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, real quick before we end the video, I'm going to go and give a recap like I usually do here of all the people I think we're going to win. We're just going to go in order here from left to right. I think that the Vision and Isha Speed are going to pick up a victory. I think Gunther's going to beat Rollins. Rhea is going to beat Jade. Jacob is going to beat Drew. Finn is going to beat Dom. Stephanie is going to retain against Liv. Becky's going to be your new Women's Intercontinental Champion. Randy Orton will win number 15. Roman Reigns will be your new World Heavyweight Champion. Bayley and Lyra Valkyria will become your Women's Tag Team Champions. Trick Williams will be your new United States Champion. Brock Lesnar is going to get squashed by Obafemi, and Penta is going to retain the Intercontinental Championship. So if you guys want to leave your predictions down in the comments below on what you think is going to happen at WrestleMania, or if you think my predictions were somewhat decent. But thank you guys if you got to the end of this video here. Go ahead, like, subscribe. We are at 349 subscribers. Like I said, my goal is to get 500 before the end of the year. So without further ado, guys, I thank you all for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.